Ah, the focal point of arms against tyranny. The might of the Nordics. That's right, you know I'm talking about Iceland. Iceland, the sleeper pick in this DLC, got a focus tree. Tiny little Iceland.
Too bad it's a dump.
And it can be so powerful. Now, there are very good videos on Iceland out there already. I recommend you watch Hatless Spider's video. I'll leave a link down below. It is absolutely wild, wacky, and full of shenanigans. But today we'll try a more straightforward approach.
Here's a little song I wrote to cheer you up. It's called Let's Go Already!
We are going to try and grab ourselves Vinland as Iceland conquer Newfoundland. Really not that difficult. And to top it off, Cod Wars as Iceland capitulate the UK. This one might be a bit more difficult, but hey, I think we can do it. So we'll start off with this massive focus tree. We have some industry on the right focused on getting us resources, civilian factories, and fixing the Icelandic economy. Speaking of the Icelandic economy, it's not good and it's only going to get worse. Adding insult to injury, we already only have 116,000 total population. We can't even use most of that for recruitment purposes, but we'll fix that. Then we have the more or less historical Icelandic path under Kingdom of Iceland, and then absolute neutrality, or the I want to be Denmark's best friend, United We Stand branch. These are both democratic in nature. Then we have Not Our King. This leads to either communism or the other ideology that YouTube really hates. And this is the path to glory through this specific focus, the Viking spirit. Trust me, this is a big one, and I am going to show you. The Armed Forces of Iceland has some bonuses to the Air Force, the Navy, such as they are, and Army as well, so some very strong Army buffs in here. And then the Nordic Council joint tree, which I'm not sure we'll be able to use. Anyway, let's start off by proclaiming Christian to be not our king. We have a factory. Right, as for research, well, this is pointless. We'll just grab engineering, and I'll grab better destroyers to get ourselves a bit of range, because we need naval range for the shenanigans we're about to pull. And we're gonna simply get going. Our plan is to go down this branch, pick up as many of these bonuses as possible with not General Strike, but all of the other ones, to then break with the crown and get our independence. Hopefully. This has a 75% chance of you becoming free without any troubles from Denmark, and a 25% chance of Denmark declaring war on you. So Iceland is really fun, guys, I promise. And our first political power pick we can take now, and we're hiring the progressive doctor. More recruitable population factor is okay. Ideology drift defense is pointless, but 100 weekly manpower. And I know what you're thinking.
That's nothing. I've done the math and that is like terrible.
Yeah, probably. I would like to point out, however, that my total manpower at the start of the game is 1,000. So I can double this in 10 weeks. Just hiring this guy. So we're hiring that guy. And on to anti-capitalist propaganda for more delicious propaganda. More research focused then. I think we'll get the extra destroyer hull. We'll focus a little bit on research and then get stuff like radios, improvements to the army, and very importantly, Marines. Because everywhere we go, we have to make naval landing. So Marines seem like a good idea. I wish I could do this the way Hatless Spider did, but that would just be copying his video. I want to give it my own twist and turns. Anti-capitalist propaganda in. We'll now expand the industrial base for an extra factory. Yay, a factory. And now we hire Gisli Björnsson. We got our fancy destroyers. Let's go grab those Marines. Alright, Spain does the thing, and this is going to be bad news for us. Because of this, the Spanish War. All of these options have the same outcome. They ruin our economy even more. So, less stability, less construction speed, less production efficiency. Everything about Iceland already sucks, and this just makes it worse. That's fine. We now have an extra civ. We'll add some, I don't know, maybe some infrastructure, I guess? I mean, it's not like we're going to be building much anyway. Because we are using that one factory, we have to go shopping. I'm going to continuously use pretty much all of our civilian economy to buy guns, to buy artillery, and to buy support equipment, because we can't make any. Workers of Reykjavik. Now we prepare for the revolution, organize a march, also take state visits, and then we break with the crown. The reason we are taking state visits, even though it doesn't do all that much, is we would like the advisor to this unlocks. He gives us another 50 weekly manpower. I know it's not much, but any amount of manpower is valuable, and we need it anyway to get down to organize the gray shirts, which leads down to the rest of the tree. So we gotta keep going. Right, we're now gonna make some roach destroyers. I could remove the torpedoes, make these significantly cheaper, but they're already awful. Do I need them to be even more awful? Maybe I do. I need them to be cheap. Most of all, I need them to be cheap. The world's cheapest destroyers are going out there. The reason I'm taking destroyer 2s is because of the extra range. Our first target is going to be the Netherlands, more specifically the Dutch East Indies. So yeah, this is going to be all about getting Indonesian manpower. I know, not very imaginative, but we gotta get men somewhere, right? Prepare for the revolution. Let's get state visits, and then we organize a march. March organized, and now we break with the crown. We're starting off strong. Denmark has accepted our independence, and we move on to a couple things we can do now. State corporatism, gray shirts, and Viking spirit. We'll need all three, but we might benefit from the fact that we are still, for now, a democracy, in that we still have market access to most other democracies to buy their stuff. We have other people we can go shopping with later. That's not really a problem. Just in case we lose that little bit of a bonus, though, start by getting a non-aggression pact with Finland. The only reason we do that is to get their opinion high enough that we automatically join their market. We have our state corporatism. Let's grab international trade now. This gets us off isolation and gives us free trade as well. And we hire the German consul now for extra weekly manpower. We have our first ship. Hurrah! Right, international trade. So we're now on free trade and civilian economy. I could go to partial mobilization, but realistically, what's it gonna do for me? I'm just constantly buying stuff. So artillery, support equipment, the whole shebang. And we've gone up to volunteer only. Let's go straight to limited conscription as well. Need the manpower anyway. I'm gonna go grab the Viking spirit next. That gives us even more. Recruitable pop. We still need over 6,000 manpower just to fill out the bare bones marines, and I'm still gonna slap on support companies and artillery units, and then we still need enough man to man our second destroyer, so let's get concentrated industry, I think, as well as improved machine tools, just so that we can make more of the one thing we're making, which is guns. A good amount of soft attack, and more soft attack with support artillery, engineers to help the naval land, I guess, and cavalry recon for more soft attack. We need to blast the Dutch apart, and I need so much manpower, 12,000 manpower. Anyway, we have the Viking spirit. Let us set course for professionalizing the army as well. We're mobilizing a lot of people still, but it's going to take a while. Let's start with the Might of Thor, the Ferocity of Fenrir, and the Fertility of Freya. More recruitable pop. So the Might of Thor, extra 5% war support, 15% division attack, and 5% division speed on the attack. And the Ferocity of Fenrir, 10 org, and 10 extra division attack. This is just mind-bogglingly great. Let's modernize the Coast Guard next. We have 60 naval experience. We can also put it to good use. Now, I could go for a naval doctrine. What's the point, though, with our teeny tiny navy? Instead, let's buff the Marines, elevate the Marine Corps. I'm also going to grab radio propaganda, more war support. That just means I mobilize men more quickly. Look at this buff. Asatru. November 1st, I think I'm going to start my justification. I should have plenty of time, but I don't want to cut things too closely. We should be ready for a war soon, TM. I need a lot more manpower, though, and a lot more artillery, but I think it's time we start deploying these guys and exercising a little bit. I'm going to burn a little bit of equipment doing this, but it will simply have to be done. We'll hire Bjornsson. We'll launch a naval invasion from Reykjavik, and we'll try to hit this area. I'm trying to do this in a way that I avoid having... trying to do this in a way that I avoid using the channel for naval superiority. So if I hit this tile, the arrow goes clean through, and it means I need to put ships in the channel. And the Dutch have their ships there. It's not going to work. However, if I start at the bottom and pick these three, the arrow bends in such a stupid way that you can see here does not include the channel. I don't know why, but it's what I'm going to use to avoid having to put ships in the channel. With the army professionalized, I don't think there's any immediate gain here. Yeah, maybe some land doctrine cost reduction, but that's not going to make or break it. I'm going to see if these two pan out. So this one asks, or rather demands, Denmark return Greenland to us. And this one asks the Norwegians, the UK, and Denmark for all the islands islands. So Jan Mayen, Shetland, and Faroe. Not really sure if they'll give them up. I don't really care. And then we'll just focus on the industry. Our justification is finished. The Marines are ready. We are going to declare this war. They don't have any guarantees, but there's one more thing we can do. We ask the Germans to join their faction. We slow the game down so exactly 1 hour passes, then they accept. Go back to the Netherlands. They don't have a guarantee yet. If you let more time than this pass, they will get a guarantee because of the war goal and the whole faction world tension mechanics. They will get a guarantee. Right now, they don't. As a result, the Dutch now see this as a very, very threatening border, and they'll try to move troops away from the ports and the coastline to cover that border. Meanwhile, our troops... Sorry, I'm going to declare war. Meanwhile, our troops will be on their way. It is quite the drive from Reykjavik, and by the time we hit The Hague and the Holland coast, most of the Dutch army will be on the border with the Germans. At least that is my hope here. That is my hope. This is quite the drive my troops are having, but by the time they arrive, I hope there's not too many Dutchmen here. So I think the Dutch have like 10 divisions. I don't think we'll be in much risk. Unfortunately, some of my convoys have been intercepted, which is bad, but not much I can do about that. We should land some divisions, and we are immediately going for victory points now. Amsterdam, Utrecht, Eindhoven, Breda. Very unfortunate that these two divisions got caught, though. I hope the naval combat is over soon, but I am not holding my breath. Okay, things are going all right. So they have troops on Rotterdam. I think that's okay, as long as I can complete the encirclement and the extra divisions can arrive. There's always an element of RNG to this. Come on, arrive, get the troops in. Okay, this is good. So they're attacking out of Rotterdam. I'm going to pile in there and distract them. You are moving there to distract them as well. So the AI is starting to respond. But if I'm quick enough on this, we should be able to do what needs to be done. Yes, we should have them. They're already really close. So Utrecht will be 5 points. Rotterdam is 20 points. And then maybe Breda another 5 points. I think we can take him. This is such a clutch moment. Do we have him? Yeah, I think we got him. There you go. The Netherlands. This is such a stupid thing to do, but it works. We're going to take the Navy. We then puppet the Dutch East Indies. We satellite Dutch Antilles and Suriname. We also puppet the Dutch themselves. Or you could puppet them, or you could occupy them. It depends on what you want to do. I intend to integrate them later, if at all. So I'm just going to puppet them, and then I'm going to use resource rights on everything. All of our fresh puppets will give their resources to us, as well as all war reparations. So we are going to take every single factory we can get away from these guys. And with that, we have quite a bit of resources, quite a bit of industry, and a small teeny tiny navy. And we can confirm an exit. We are now part of the Axis in good standing. Very well. And we have fresh factories as well. Let's get them producing. Speaking of producing, I should probably add anti-air as well. God, I don't have resources. I just don't. We're gonna click this button to view our subject templates, the Icelandic East Indies, and we're gonna make copies of this thing. Copy that. These will be our Indonesian Vikings. 21 combat width is all right. We are going to add more support companies to this in a bit, and we are going to train as many of these as possible because we desperately need men, and we're just going to deploy them in Reykjavik. And now, as for research, we're going to take things like anti-air, just make this into an actual army. We have the manpower as long as we can keep the Dutch East Indies under our boot. We have all the manpower we need, at least for a little bit, and then our goal will be, of course, to invade the United Kingdom. And if we ever get the bonus of acquiring land in Norway, Denmark, and or Sweden, well, Iceland can proclaim Nordic unity. So with a little bit of finagling, you can form Nordic unity. Atlas Spider did it with a massive amount of memes and shenanigans. I don't think I'll be able to do it with my approach, but I would welcome you to watch his video. It's amazing. It is beautiful. So I have 24 of these Indonesian Vikings. They're more or less equipped, though leaning more towards less than more. We've borrowed a puppet divisions, mostly to guard Iceland itself, because if Iceland gets invaded, well, it's game over and the UK will try to invade. The Danes were kind enough to also sign over Greenland to us. Best garrison it as well. If we can hold the port down here, I can always hop into Newfoundland should we choose to, which is pretty cool considering I can raise a monument to Leif Erikson there and just get a core there, which is, I mean, it's cool. So if I can have the opportunity, why not? But the ideal outcome will be to, of course, capitulate the UK quickly. Despite Corax's best efforts to make the UK capable of defending itself, he has mostly succeeded. Like, they're good, well, better with their fleets, but there will always be moments where just for a split second, an hour, or maybe 2 in-game hours, they don't have their fleet where it needs to be. And as a result, we will have very small moments of naval superiority that we can use to sneak our fleets past. And when we can do that, we can get in. Now, to maximize our chances, I've set up a naval invasion across the English Channel, trying to hit Dover, and a second one on my usual area around Hull to, of course, hit there and cut them in half. Whichever area we land in, we are funneling the rest of this army into. I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Oh! This is so stupid. September of 39. And the Royal Navy has decided to leave for like half a second. As a result, I have just launched the naval invasion. My troops have landed in Dover. This is so stupid. Oh, Corax. Oh, I respect the hell out of your work with the UK so far, but this is hilarious. All right, I guess we're doing this then. Oh, this is hilarious. All right, everybody's heading to the UK. This is so stupid, and I love it. I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it. Just need to get the rest of my army across, and hopefully they won't sink my entire navy on the way. Now, of course, supply is going to be a massive issue, so there's really only one thing we can do here, and that is funnel in an inordinate amount of troops. Well, that's it. We have the 24 divisions. This is our inordinate amount of troops. Realistically, all we can do now is to try and outrun the British military. Outmaneuver them, just do better than the AI in this. This is one of my fun year playthroughs. I have to say, this is definitely one of my fun year playthroughs. And the only real downside to this whole thing is the fact that, well, we're hitting the UK very, very early on. And as a result, they still have quite a few divisions at home. And I now have to fight those divisions instead of walking where I go when I go. I have to give it to them. They're putting up quite the fight here. We'll take London. I think we can take Bristol once we clean that. Yep. And then we'll take Norwich. We'll get some ports, kill some UK divisions, and we can get the line moving forward again. We've taken Bristol. I think we have enough supply moving forward in the south. The big downside now, of course, is going to be red air all over the place. I don't have anything to counter that. I don't have any assets to counter anything, really. But we'll do our best. This is so bad, though. This is so bad. This is absolutely wild, and I am here for it. This is the gameplay I live for. Liverpool and Manchester are encircled. We shall destroy them. No counter invasions yet. There are troops in Cardiff, though, that I would very much like to see disappear. Maybe an offensive. Yes, let's use a forced attack. We're going to war economy. I don't care. We're going to war economy. We have an economy and it will be geared for war. The UK is just about ready to capitulate. Yes! 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 We did it. Okay, so what do I want? The few cores I can get, and Newfoundland, and that there. And I want Norway, but realistically, there's not much I can do in Norway. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. That is the Cod Wars complete, and Vinland complete. As Iceland, we capitulated the UK, and we seized Newfoundland. Now, the world is a weird and wacky place. We have control of most of India. Now, I hear you thinking, why India? I have a little secret for you. So, this leader's good. We'll keep him. This leader's all right. We won't keep him. This leader's pretty good. We'll keep him as well. So this guy gives us 10% recruitable pop, which is good. What if we hire this man? 20% non-core manpower. How much manpower is in India, you might wonder? Well, we are occupying quite a bit of India. And currently, with our current recruitment laws, we can get 0.2% out of it. 0.2% of 202 million people. Now let's see what that could be with our new leader. So we're gonna fast forward a bit until we can get him. I would very much like to click the button to proclaim Nordic unity, so I'm gonna try and work towards it. I can eat Sweden with impunity, more or less. I don't see them getting a guarantee. And I'll try to do the same with the Finns. I think I can eat them with impunity as well. With all that land under my boot, I would then just need to stab Germany in the back at the right time. Now, they still have a war goal on me. They might actually use it. Wait, no, they don't have a war goal on me. Never mind. Then it's just a matter of stabbing Germany Germany in the back at the right time. We can relatively easily overrun the Norwegian section, and then it's going to be a slog to attain Denmark. We'll see how we do. I do have access to fairly elite marines if we build this out, so we'll see what we can make of this. Alright, let's declare war on Sweden. Should be relatively easy. Massive navies in the way to support a naval invasion, and we'll start a land invasion up north. They could walk in up here all they want. It doesn't really matter, so all-out assault on Swedish-held territory is go. Shouldn't be too difficult. And yes, everyone and their grandmother is going to embargo us. It's just part of doing business. We'll just try to cut the Swedish army to ribbons, piecemeal, instead of having to, you know, fight fairly. Why fight fairly when you can fight easily? Just keep pushing, keep driving forward, and eventually Sweden's going to give up. We are at 300,000 now. Let's hire him. And we are now 3.7 million manpower. Look at the juice we're squeezing out of India. There we go. Sweden has capitulated. Great news. Perfect. We now have captured Sweden, and we'll quickly set up for Finland as well. We are going to be occupying so much land as teeny tiny Iceland. It's absurd. I just hope that I can wrest control of Denmark away from the Germans, because if I can't, all of this will have been quite useless. Anyway, I should also build a monument for Leif Erikson to give me a bit of a bonus here on Newfoundland and Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon. You know what? I'm gonna leave the faction. If Germany declares war on me, we'll just consider this campaign over. And I'll justify a war goal on Finland, 100 days. Justification for Åland is complete, and I can just declare war now. Don't need any friends to help me out here. We'll quickly overrun the Finns. Of course, their navy is no match for ours. And there goes Finland. Hurrah! More ships, more land. Let's take a look here. So in theory, we have everything we need except Oslo and Denmark. I rejoined the Axis, and my plan is to start building a coalition of the willing. Air quotes on the sides. I'm gonna try eating everyone I can in the general area. Vichy France is Spain, Portugal, Yugoslavia. I think those are the only candidates, in an effort to build some sort of puppet wall that I can use to draw attention away from the Germans and to obviously help me in the fight eventually. Meanwhile, I'm not going to fight the war with the Soviets. I'm actually going to send them all the help I can. As soon as I can, just send them a bunch of guns, send them all the artillery I can spare, because I need the Soviets to hold the line for as long as humanly possible. Let's fight Vichy France instead. I should get no interference from anyone, and my army should be sufficient to take them out. And that is the French army thoroughly embarrassed once again. After taking a massive beating from the German army, they're now taking a massive beating from the Icelandic army. There go the French. More navy, sure, and I'm just gonna puppet everything. Now, I'm not gonna puppet Vichy France itself because they are annoying. They have a very poorly functioning tree, so not puppeting Vichy France. We can puppet Free France, I think, without all of their African holdings. I think I can puppet Free France. I hope that doesn't break anything. And then I'm gonna puppet all of these tiny little countries. All right, goodbye Spain. I'll have to call France in, otherwise I can't get to them. Should be easy enough. When is the war goal on Portugal up? Got about a month. We'll see. This is beautiful. The absolutely ridiculous Viking buffs, these are just insane. And combined with our ridiculous manpower because we took India, makes us an incredible behemoth. Even with very little core territory, we are just incredibly powerful. All right, so we have extra factories. Now it's just Spain that needs to die. Speaking of, there goes Spain. And again, we'll start puppeting people. And to make sure our assault on the Danish lowlands goes well, I should probably bring out the Marines. We have a lot of room for special forces templates. Again, this might be a bug. I saw something similar with Norway, where the calculations are wrong due to something in your decisions. So this is a 25% special forces capacity multiplier. I'm thinking it's been applied wrong. This should not be 292. But I'll take it. So the Indian forces are getting into positions. These are not fantastic divisions. 15 with bare bones holding infantry, but I'm counting on the fact that the Germans and hopefully Italians will be distracted enough that I can take most of the supply in the region and push out. So hopefully I won't lose my Indian manpower base. So I'm gonna wait until all these guys get into position. Up north here, I've got forces on the border with Germany. Supply situation here might become difficult. I may need to divert additional troops there. We'll have to see how that goes. So I am still training more divisions. Hopefully we can actually get her done, as the kids say. If this goes poorly, I'm going to kick myself, but at least you get to see me fail. Everybody tells me they want to see me fail every now and then. All right, we've got our justification. Going to declare war. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to call my puppets in because I don't want them in. I'm instantly going to declare war on this Danish thing as well. And gonna justify for Oslo Fjord. Takes me 10 days. Hopefully not too many German units can get funneled in there. Launching all the naval invasions and pushing into Copenhagen, hopefully. Same time, I'm launching an attack on the Italian holdings here. Again, I should probably justify, but I don't think I need to. And we're gonna walk into Calcutta. So I hope I can hold on to my Indian manpower. If not, I might have a problem, and I hope I can quickly overrun Denmark. Again, if not, might have a problem. As for this side, there's suddenly a lot of Germans here, but they're not very strong, so I think I can take them. They also don't really have the supply they'd need to be a nuisance, so I don't think it's much of an issue. And we'll keep playing at a very low speed, and I'm going to be fighting everybody here. And troops have landed. Let's get going. Setting course to Leningrad. Okay. We've taken the local supply in the east. That's good. Should be able to overrun Oslo Fjord quickly, and we have made landfall in Denmark virtually unopposed. Let's ship the rest of the Marines over as well. Denmark is getting its teeth kicked in, which is nice. If I can get across, if I can get the Bornholm. Oh, German Navy showed up. I hope my Navy's better than theirs. Losing a lot of destroyers there. Oslo Fjord is pretty much overrun. I was unable to push this, and now my line is a little bit overextended. I still have to make it to Petrozavodsk. Eastern Front might be difficult. I've taken Copenhagen. That is Denmark knocked out. Just need to do a little bit of cleanup in regards to whatever the other Axis powers have left in the area, and everybody else get to the border here. It's been a bit of an expensive push, but probably worth it. Dumb as this looks, it did work. I just told the unit to walk to Petrozavodsk, and it did, so I can't really complain that it looks stupid, because if it looks stupid and it works, it's not stupid. I do need to plug that in though, so make that a high priority, and then set up defenses there. I'll rearrange for an offensive on Leningrad specifically in a minute, but I think we can make that happen, and then a combat offensive this area. We should be able to get Europe under control, and a secondary invasion of Bornholm is due shortly, so if that one launches, at least we'll get that done. And the Navy has full access to everything. All right, let's stop trying to push on Kiel. It's not happening unless they seriously redirect units around. I don't really need to do an offensive on Germany right now. I would love to get something done, but I don't need to right now. I have other things going on. Mostly trying to make things that you know, make sense in the east. That's my main concern right now, because this is my main vulnerability. India being overrun nicely. Yeah, so that's not going to be not really going to be much of a concern. And then it's just a matter of getting those troops back home. Maybe I can get the Soviets to give me military access, but I don't want to give Soviet land back. It's mine. I did this. This is mine. And we've seized Bornholm, which is pretty good, because I think that now means I can click the button. Proclaim Nordic unity. Look at that baby. Iceland has formed the Nordic Empire. Oh, now all of this land is my core. It's all my core. I get full use of the manpower. I get full use of the factories. I get full use of everything. Manpower just shot up. Factories have just shot up. Absolutely love this. Plus, of course, all the resources are now fully mine to use as well. Is this not beautiful? But anyway, I think this is where we're going to call this for now. As Iceland, we have restored the Nordic Empire. We have done our achievements. And if you guys want to see me continue this run, leave a like down below. If we can get to, oh, let's say 5,000 likes. 5,000 likes seems reasonable. Then we'll do a part 2 of this where I try to fix my own disaster. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will enjoy this next video as well. See ya.